Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to the NoDQ live recap of Monday Night Raw for August 12th, 2019. I am back home. It feels good to be back. Had a great time in Toronto. Again, thank you to everyone in Toronto for your hospitality. Great memories, unforgettable trip. We have Monday Night Raw, the post-SummerSlam edition, which was also in Toronto, and SmackDown tomorrow night will be the final WWE show of SummerSlam weekend in Toronto. We kicked off the show with a SummerSlam recap, of course. We had Seth Rollins come out, and real quick, George Argueta, shout out to him for being the final NoDQ Super Chat champion from last night's stream. The title is on the line, of course, so $5 will make you the NoDQ Super Chat champion. We had Seth Rollins come out to kick off Raw. He talked about how the last several weeks were the toughest of his career, and he wasn't 100% at SummerSlam. He praised Brock Lesnar. The crowd was chanting Beast Slayer at Seth Rollins. Seth said that the fans helped him reach that place so he could, in fact, slay the Beast at SummerSlam. Then we had AJ Styles and the OC come out to interrupt Seth. AJ ended up congratulating Seth, but then challenged Seth to a match to prove that he's a better champion than AJ. Rollins responded by saying he used to respect AJ, and he added that he doesn't back down from a fight, and therefore, challenge accepted. AJ Styles wanted a handshake. Rollins was hesitant, of course, because AJ is a sneaky bastard. The OC left the ring, and at that point, Rollins did the handshake. AJ Styles and the OC slowly walked off. And Kayfabe Candy Ass says, show that hat with your best Doc Hendricks. Well, if you want a NoDQ.com hat, go over to NoDQ.com/shirts. This hat actually turned out really nice. I'm very happy with the design for it. Let me get a little closer here with the shot of the hat. This is from Teespring, and you can go over to NoDQ.com/shirts and pick up a shirt and a hat. Pick up everything. There's a hoodie, there's background, wall design, decor, whatever you want to call it. Lots of good stuff, so head over there, NoDQ.com/shirts, if you would like to support NoDQ.com. And as Steph and Osborne and the NX team say, support NoDQ. I know that's gimmick infringement, but whatever. We're just not going to clickbait you. Why did I not go to Raw and SmackDown in Toronto? Just because 2 shows, that's enough as far as I'm concerned. Raw and SmackDown, it really takes a lot for me to want to go to Raw and SmackDown these days because I just feel like the shows drag more times than not. Pay-per-views, however, are usually good. WWE rarely puts out a bad pay-per-view, and when you get NXT, you get a really good deal right there. NXT and then one of the big pay-per-views from WWE, whether it's SummerSlam or the Royal Rumble or Money in the Bank. Hank Schrader on the shitter with a $2 super chat says, Logic, put a camera on the car that hit Roman, quote, live. Good point there, Hank Schrader on the shitter, and I still love that username. And then Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, TGS has a bigger crush on Virtue than on EC3. Ouch. Right now, I have to say that that is the savage line of the night, and we'll see how long that lasts. We had Sami Zayn confront the Street Profits backstage and told the Street Profits to enjoy things while you can because eventually you're going to be miserable. The crowd will literally suck your soul, or I guess figuratively suck your soul. And then talked about how Seth Rollins used to be the architect, but now he just panders to the fans. Same thing with Becky Lynch. Sami said he's a Becky Lynch fan, but now she's just manufactured. This was almost like a worked shoot promo here, I felt, from Sami, basically telling it like it is. Look at me, I've become my own shill here. Hoof-Hearted with a $2 super chat says, I thought Heyman was supposed to improve things. Well, again, Vince McMahon runs the show, so we all have to be a little bit skeptical of what Paul Heyman can actually do when Vinnie Mac is still the man you have to answer to. Jacob Bright with the $2 super chat, but no comment. Thank you for that, Jacob. I do appreciate it. Power Packers 90 with a $5 super chat. So Power Packers is the first new NoDQ super chat champion of the evening. Congratulations to Power Packers 90. He says, hey, I'm a Patreon to that other channel. Support those cool lads. Sure. Support whoever you like. Support anything you enjoy, I say. And thank you, Power Packers, for the super chat. Now, moving on here. Samoa Joe walked up behind Sami Zayn as Sami Zayn was talking trash about Samoa Joe, also starting to go soft. And Samoa Joe said that since he's a big softy, then Sami Zayn has the perfect chance to show everybody in the ring that he's more than just Kevin Owens' water boy, which of course the crowd oohed and awed. We had a commercial to hype up the return of King of the Ring. That's right, King of the Ring announced for next week. And from my understanding, from what I heard on TV, this is going to be more than just a 1 week thing, that the tournament starts next week and maybe they're going to do the finals on a pay-per-view. I still would like WWE to bring back King of the Ring as a one-night tournament on pay-per-view. I'm glad it's back, so I'll take that. But why not bring it back as a full pay-per-view? Media One Software says King of the Ring should be a full pay-per-view. Exactly. Why not? You're in the network era. Get rid of one of the crappy themed pay-per-views. Rich Wolf with a $3 super chat, but no comment. Thank you very much for that, Richard. I do appreciate it. Chris May says 8 men from Raw and 8 men from SmackDown. Yeah, I love it. I say do it. King of the Ring tournament on pay-per-view. I mean, yeah, it's nice that WWE is bringing it back, but come on now. Come on. Let's get it on pay-per-view. Paul Heyman at Heyman Hustle. You got the stroke, man. If you really got the stroke, you got to give it to us on pay-per-view. That's what we want. We want King of the Ring on pay-per-view. Come on. All right, so next up we had The Miz come out with a Toronto is awesome t-shirt. So Sami Zayn must be right about The Miz too, because The Miz is coming out there pandering to the fans. Dolph Ziggler came out in street clothes and said he hopes The Miz is happy about what happened with Goldberg because Ziggler is not medically cleared to compete in their match. And then Ziggler added that Miz screwed Miz. Of course, we had to get that Montreal reference in Toronto. It's Canada, so, you know. We had Miz start to turn his back to Dolph Ziggler, which, of course, stupid babyface, but we all know Miz is a moron. It's been proven during that feud with Shane McMahon that The Miz, he's a stupid babyface. Dolph Ziggler has a match with The Miz after the commercial break, and Ziggler taps out. Miz picks up the victory with the figure 4, and then as Miz is walking away, Ziggler calls Miz a coward and says that Maurice is the best wrestler in the family, and Miz is nothing but a reality star wannabe, and right when he said that, Miz takes out Ziggler with a skull-crushing finale. So where does Dolph Ziggler go from this point? Seems like Ziggler's he's just doing this gimmick now where he's losing his mind, I suppose. He thinks he's the best in the world and he always gets his ass kicked. So I guess this is his new gimmick now. Psycho Jet Black with the $2 super chat says, the last king was Wade Barrett, that is all. Yeah, I mean, hopefully WWE does more with the King of the Ring at this point. We saw what happened with Wade Barrett. Sheamus did it and it was all right, but yeah, maybe we'll have King Bray Wyatt. I don't know what to make of that possibility, but we'll see what happens with this tournament. By the way, I guess I should just say it now, there was no Bray Wyatt on this show whatsoever. Some people were upset about that on social media. I can understand both sides of the argument. On one hand, you should have Wyatt on there while he's hot. On the other hand, you might want to use him at certain times and not have him on TV every week in order to keep him fresh and not have more opportunities to screw things up. Like if you only use him once a month, then there's a less likelihood that WWE is going to book him in something really stupid that will ruin the character. So I can kind of understand both sides to the argument about how much Bray Wyatt should be utilized on TV. The Caleb Jacobs Experience with a $3.51 super chat donation says, King AJ. King AJ Styles. Now, wait a minute. Didn't TNA already do that with AJ Styles where he was the king and he came out with a crown? I seem to remember that. So I actually don't like that idea because I think TNA did something very similar to it. Chris Mace said they already announced 8 men. Oh, they did. All right, well, let me know who those 8 men are, Chris Mace. Moving on here, we had a Becky Lynch promo. She said she's not there to make friends. She's going to get the ladies in the locker room before they get to her. And then we had Elias come out for another song, but he said every time he's interrupted by a WWE superstar or a legend, and he said, let's just get it over with. He invited the person that was going to interrupt to do so. He did a countdown, 3, 2, 1, nobody came out. So he did it again, nobody came out. Then he said it's going to be the first ever uninterrupted Elias performance. And at that point, Ricochet's music hit. What a jerk Ricochet is. Like, Elias was just being real here. He's like, if you're going to interrupt me, just come on out. And Ricochet purposely waited until he started his performance to interrupt him. What a prick that Ricochet is. I mean, that was very rude of him to do that. What a jerk. Anyways, Ricochet said people interrupt him because he sucks. Who wrote this? I mean, this is some weak insults here as far as I'm concerned. Because he sucks. Ooh, Elias is shaking in his boots at that one. Elias said that he'll embarrass Ricochet and asked the ref to come out, challenged Ricochet to a match. Ricochet ended up beating Elias, but then the announcers noted that Elias had his shoulders up. A replay was shown, but I guess it's back to old school in WWE. Referee's decision is final, which I'm fine with, by the way. And it stands. Ricochet is the winner. Mike B with a $2 super chat says, King and Queen, A and K. Aw, that's so sweet, Mike B. I appreciate that comment. Thank you for that. Next up, we had Rey Mysterio versus Andrade in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Zelina Vega interfered right away, and due to the distraction, Andrade rolled up Rey Mysterio, and then Andrade had his feet on the ropes, and Zelina was giving him extra leverage, and that led to a victory for Andrade in a very short amount of time. They had the second fall, and then Rey Mysterio hit the 619, went for the big splash. Andrade got his knees up and then hit the hammerlock DDT to beat Rey 2 straight falls. People asking, where's Caitlyn? Caitlyn is coming back from a Backstreet Boys concert. Backstreet's back. All right. But we're talking about wrestling here, so no Backstreet Boys talk. I did not attend that, obviously. I'm here doing this. Had to do my thing here with the NoDQ live recap, but Caitlyn's out with Aaron and Amy. Amy, of course, is Aaron's sister, who made a little bit of a cameo on the live stream for SummerSlam. We had Steve Austin, who was interviewed by Michael Cole on Skype, and for a few moments, Steve Austin was having a little bit of NoDQ.com style technical difficulties on Skype with his mic going in and out. Austin just praised Seth Rollins for winning the Universal title and said he now knows who Seth Rollins is, says Rollins is committed to being the best in the world. And then Michael Cole promoted Steve Austin's show, which of course was the real reason that Steve Austin was on this show, basically to get that promotion out for his new show. Power Packers 90, who is the current reigning and defending NoDQ Super Chat champion, by the way, says, what's your favorite Backstreet Boys song? I'm going to go ahead and say Just Want You to Know because it's a lesser known Backstreet Boys song. So there you go. I just threw one out there and probably lost my man card for even knowing a Backstreet Boys song. I like a couple of them. I do have a little bit of a variety when it comes to musical taste, and I'll have a couple of Backstreet Boys songs on my playlist. I won't lie. Hank Schrader on the shitter with a $2 super chat says, here's cash so you don't miss the next Backstreet Boy concert. Well, I hate to break it to you, Hank Schrader on the shitter. I appreciate that, but that $2 is not going to cover a Backstreet Boys concert. It might cover SmackDown in Toronto if I was going, but I'm back in the States, so that ain't happening. But thank you, though, for the super chat. I appreciate it. We had Rey Mysterio interviewed backstage. He was asked if he has met his match with Andrade. Rey said he has no idea where his career is going. He has a family to support. And then we had another promo with the Street Profits. Ford talked about how Rey Mysterio needs to keep his head up high, and then the other guy was sleeping. I guess he was partying too much, and then he started gulping down this thing of water, and crowd was chanting chug, chug, chug. Maybe it was alcohol. I'm not sure. I don't even know the whole thing with what they were doing with the... I think it was water, but it might have been alcohol. I have no idea. But anyways, yeah, they were doing a bunch of comedy on this show. And, you know, it's entertaining. I'm liking the Street Profits. Demon of Death 19 says it was water. See, I wasn't sure if it was water or if it was, like, something that was alcohol that was clear. I don't know, but I'm the wrong person that would know about this stuff anyways. So let's move on here. Next up, we had Drew McIntyre interviewed about Cedric Alexander. He said the feud will end on Raw. He said Cedric's fairy tale will soon be over. And then we had a match between McIntyre and Cedric. Actually, a really solid match. Alexander looked pretty strong in here. He was picking up some near falls. He had McIntyre on the verge of a loss. Alexander hit the Spanish Fly, big near fall. Crowd started chanting, "This is awesome." He got another near fall, but then McIntyre finally was able to put away Cedric with the Claymore. Solid match here. I actually thought this was a pretty darn good match for Monday Night Raw. Mike B with a $2 super chat says, the Backstreet Boys are more relevant than EC3. Oh, man, why you gotta do EC3 dirty like that, man? That was brutal. ZOMG Ruler, one of my faves, but I always forget how to pronounce it. Zomygod Ruler, or whatever. With a $5 super chat. So ZOMG Ruler is the new champion. Says, I am the Alliance of Super Chat Champions, LOL. The Rock claimed Austin like Backstreet Boys. I hope we get The Fiend versus the Demon soon. Hashtag 14th Super Chat reign. Well, congratulations, and thank you for that. I do remember that, The Rock's promo where he made fun of everybody and referenced Steve Austin listening to the Backstreet Boys. So nice little tie-in there. We get the Backstreet Boys and wrestling tied in together here to make it all wrestling related. I like it. Very nice super chat there, and congratulations on being the new champion. But hold on, Hoof Hearted just came in with a $5 super chat, and Hoof Hearted says, so Caitlyn is reliving the late 90s. Too bad WWE won't do the same. Actually, aren't they already doing that with the 24/7 championship? Just saying. And congratulations on being the new NoDQ Super Chat champion. Backstage, we had the OC joking about how AJ Styles thinks he can beat Seth Rollins, but he couldn't even beat Brock Lesnar, which is something that Seth Rollins did. AJ responded by saying, well, the difference is that Seth Rollins got a lot of opportunities against Lesnar. AJ only got one, and he came very close. Then we had Paul Heyman interviewed about the fallout from SummerSlam and how Seth Rollins will not be getting an automatic rematch clause against Seth Rollins, and Heyman was pretty much speechless. He said he doesn't know how to explain it, and then he just went back into Brock's locker room, and that was that. So Brock Lesnar is gone for the time being. When will he pop up again? I don't know. Honestly, don't really care. And then we had Bobby Roode, I guess getting push number 35 now. Bobby Roode beating No Way Jose with the glorious DDT. And we'll see how long this latest Bobby Roode push lasts. I will not hold my breath on that one. Natural Born Thriller with a $5 super chat says, I am now a 2-time No DQ super chat champion. And then Natural Born Thriller adds, continue with this Raw show, which I don't watch anymore. Keep up the great work, Aaron. You're doing great. Thank you so much for that, Natural Born Thriller. Congratulations on being a 2-time No DQ Super Chat champion of the No DQ Galaxy. Moving on here, we had the Revival versus the Lucha House Party, and man, social media was blowing up for this one. All the comments about Revival being buried, and yeah, pretty much looks like Revival's right back to where they were before they won the tag team titles, having matches with Lucha House Party again. No entrances for these guys. And to make it worse, their match was interrupted by R-Truth and Carmella running away from the Keystone Cops of WWE. Carmella ended up tripping Drake Maverick, and then the match was thrown out. Everybody was brawling. Lucha House Parties diving to the outside. Then we had the Revival, both guys pinning R-Truth to become co-24/7 champion. But then Carmella helped out R-Truth, and R-Truth pinned Scott Dawson to regain the championship. Backstage, R-Truth was celebrating with Carmella, celebrating the, I think, 72 times being champion, 747, 711 European TV champion. All of a sudden, Elias shows up with a guitar, hits Truth with the guitar in the back, and Elias is now the new WWE 24/7 champion. Once again, I think like the third time. I'm not even sure at this point. Man, the people that keep track of the 24/7 title, that's a job in itself. And speaking of title changes, we have a brand new No DQ Super Chat champion of the world. You can pick up a No DQ Super Chat t-shirt, by the way, over at NoDQ.com/shirts, along with this new NoDQ.com hat, which looks great, by the way. I do have to show my own stuff. I honestly think this hat looks amazing. Richard Wolf with a $5 super chat says, Jeff Hardy should return as Willow to feud with The Fiend. That would be interesting if WWE wanted to do something different with Jeff Hardy and maybe go back to the whole broken persona with the Hardys. And yeah, it would be interesting, although I would not expect Jeff to go over. You know, you could have Jeff do that persona and then just lose to Bray Wyatt. But yeah, it might be an interesting thing to explore at some point. Moving on here, we had a big segment, maybe the biggest segment for this week's Raw. We had Natalya come out with her arm in a sling. She praised Becky Lynch, said Becky out-wrestled her, was the better woman. Natalya then revealed that she had a dislocated elbow and would be having an MRI on Tuesday. She said she meant every word she said about Becky, though, all the things she said. And she said one day they will fight again and they will finish their rivalry. Then she wanted to talk on a more serious note. Crowd started chanting boring at her, actually. And she brought up her father, how it's the 1-year anniversary of his death, and how she was having dreams about him, being proud of her. Crowd did give her some applause for this, but yeah, it was a little uncomfortable when she was talking about her father, you know, right at the same time the crowd was chanting boring. That was a bit awkward. And then all of a sudden, the music hit. Michael Cole says, it's boss time. Sasha Banks makes her big return to Monday Night Raw. Sasha comes down to the ring. She gives Natalya a hug, and then all of a sudden, she hauls off and punches Natalya right in the face, takes off her purple purple wig to reveal blue hair now. So she's like Marge Simpson with her hair down. We had a beatdown of Natalya. Sasha threw Natalya elbow first into the steel steps. Then we had Becky Lynch come out and attempt to make the save, but then Sasha also got the best of Becky and beat the crap out of Becky with a steel chair. So there you go. Sasha Banks is officially back. She has turned heel. And as Jim Ross would say, business has damn sure picked up. Darren Frazier with a $5 super chat says, kick to the nuts, 1, 2, 3, pull mask off. I'm back and badder than ever. Screw retirement, just like how Brett got screwed years ago. Hashtag 19-time champion. Hashtag heel Fraser. So heel Fraser is your new NoDQ super chat champion. Congratulations to Darren Frazier. And Tony H with a $2 super chat says, Sasha Banks looks like a blue M&M with that color. Nice one, Tony H. That might be the savage line of the night. That's right up there. Anthony says Banks just had blonde hair. Well, a little bit of a swerve there to throw people off. So Sasha Banks, I believe this was her first appearance since WrestleMania. Yeah, it was. They lost the tag team titles, and she had, what, a 4-month hiatus? May, June, July, August. Yeah, about a 4-month hiatus. And now she's back. Finally, Sasha has returned to Monday Night Raw. Moving on here, we had the Viking Raiders win a squash match. Usual stuff from them. Talked about how they've been dominating for 4 months now. You know, we'll see if eventually they get into a storyline. What about AOP? Remember those guys? Member AOP? I remember. Power Packers 90 with a $5 super chat. Once again, my man, Power Packers 90 says, as someone that just lost my own dad, I didn't like them mentioning Anvil again to get heat. Times 13-time champion, just like my Green Bay Packers. There you go. What do you guys think about the Green Bay Packers? I know nothing about them, but he says go Pack go. So there you go. Go Pack go. Whatever that means. Congratulations to Power Packers 90. Dr. Scorpio says, they are right. And JSpin401 says, like, let Anvil rest in peace. Media One Software wants to know, where is Baron Corbin? Don't know, and honestly, don't really care. I'm sure Greg Cherry's upset about it, but yeah, I cannot say I've been missing Baron Corbin. Same thing with Lacey Evans. Her absence hasn't really affected me at all. Same thing with Baron Corbin. Both of them, like, I just don't have interest in them right now. Their characters were not connecting with me. We had the women's tag team titles on the line. We had the Kabuki Warriors finally getting their match for the tag team titles against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, 2-on-2. We had Kairi Sane hit the insane elbow, but Alexa made the save at the last moment. Asuka went to attack Alexa on the outside of the ring. She went for a kick, but missed and hit the ring post, and that allowed Alexa to get back in the ring and help out her partner, Nikki Cross. Nikki hit the swinging neck breaker to Sane, and then twisted elbow to Sane led to Alexa and Nikki retaining the tag team titles. Excuse me. I need a sip of water. Starting to lose my voice, but that's what we do here on NoDQ.com. We go all out. Speaking of all out, that's coming up here in just a couple weeks, so make sure you stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the latest regarding the upcoming pay-per-view from AEW, All Out. We had the main event, AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. Rollins' ribs were still taped up. selling the damage from the past few weeks. The OC interfered, causing a disqualification. Ricochet made the save, or attempted to make the save, but he got overwhelmed by the OC. This led to Braun Strowman coming out. Strowman came out, beat up the OC, and you had Raw end with Strowman grabbing the Universal title and a little bit of a tease for perhaps a future Universal title match. Braun Strowman held up the title, looked at it, but then handed it to its rightful owner, Seth Rollins. And you had Strowman, Rollins, and Ricochet standing tall to end Monday Night Raw. Looks like we are going to get a 6-man match probably next week. King of the Ring special. But yeah, we do have some kind of a tease for the future, which was good. I did like it. Some people are like, Strowman should have attacked Rollins. I disagree on that. Strowman should not be going heel again, although maybe he would do a better job than last time. Maybe that's the only thing left to do with him at this point. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll see what happens. I mean, Rollins could use a really credible opponent, so maybe they'll have to go with another Strowman heel turn. I don't know. So that was Monday Night Raw. Overall, I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it. Wasn't perfect or anything, but I thought it did have a nice flow. I liked Sasha's return. I thought that was really well done. We'll see what the follow-up is. We'll see if WWE can take Sasha to that next level and make her a top-tier star again. I liked the stuff with Strowman coming out at the end. 24/7 title stuff was fine. I know people were not happy about the revival. I'm like, whatever. Virtue wasn't a fan of it. He says Sasha's return was awful. All right, let's go ahead and do the letter grade for Monday Night Raw. I thought it was solid, so I'm gonna give it a B. Good Raw. Wasn't jumping for joy with it, but I thought it was fairly good. Darren Frazier with a $5 super chat. So Darren Frazier is once again the NoDQ 24/7 European Hardcore 7-Eleven champion. He says, chair shot to the back of the former champion and spray paint AEW on the title. 20-time champion is Darren Frazier. By the way, I thought the show was pretty good tonight, he says. As do I. I did enjoy Raw. I thought it was a somewhat memorable show. Kev Dog with a B. Hoof-hearted with an F-, so he was not impressed. Michael Wayne with a C. Caleb Jacobs Experience with a B-. ZRJ with a B-. Matt Helms with a B. Darius Jefferson with a D-. Radical Velocity with a C. Michael Heiss with a C. Dr. Scorpio with a C+. TJS with a D+. TJS was not amused with this show. Joseph with a B. Martin with a B. Mr. Anderson with a B. So, seems like a lot of B's for Raw. Martin R. Cruz with a B. Richard Wolf with a B+. So there you go. Lots of B's. Power Packers 90 back with another $5 super chat. Says, 13 is bad luck. So super kick to the former champion, Darren Frazier, which means Power Packers 90, 1, 2, 3, and new NoDQ Super Chat champion of the NoDQ Galaxy. And Power Packers 90 gives Raw a C-. C- for Monday Night Raw. Hey, can't please everybody, but I thought the show was fine this week. No real complaints. I'm happy the King of the Ring is back next week, although I would prefer it to be on pay-per-view, but it is what it is, as I like to say. All right, guys, so on that note, I will go ahead and wrap up this edition of the NoDQ Live Review. Again, if you would like to support the site, head over to nodq.com/shirts. I need to change that URL. hold on one second before you go. Hoof-Hearted with a $5 super chat, so he's keeping me on here. He says, what are your thoughts on Cody Rhodes saying AEW will not be appealing to a casual audience and only having 4 pay-per-views a year? And Caitlin's here, by the way, finally, back from the Backstreet Boys concert. Caitlin, you missed it. I sang a little bit of Backstreet Boys. Well, not really sang, but referenced a song and gave my favorite Backstreet Boys song. Here's a question for Caitlin. What was your favorite song of the night tonight? What was the best moment of the Backstreet Boys concert? So Hoof-Hearted wants to know my thoughts on what Cody said. I think Cody is going to need to evolve AEW a little bit. If they just cater to their hardcore fans, it's basically going to be NXT. And as great as NXT is, as critically acclaimed as NXT is, they did not sell out Toronto. Now, granted, 4 shows in a row, it's going to be tough to sell out those 4 shows, but NXT is not a strong enough brand to sell out these arenas on a regular basis. If they did one NXT a year, WrestleMania weekend, they would sell it out. And they usually do for WrestleMania weekend, but that's it. NXT caters to a specific audience, the most diehard of diehard wrestling fans. So, yeah, if AEW wants to have a long-term successful business, they're going to need as many eyeballs as possible. I don't know if they will be able to sustain their business model with the most hardcore fans. Now, those fans are willing to spend a lot of money. They're willing to travel across the country and go to all these big events. So maybe for the short term, it'll be a good thing for AEW. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work long term. I really don't. 4 pay-per-views a year. Again, if they can make money in other ways besides pay-per-view, then they'll be fine. I mean, it's definitely taking a risk only doing 4 pay-per-views a year. But at the same time, those 4 pay-per-views will be bigger deals. They'll probably sell out. So yeah, I trust they know what they're doing, and they're going to do their best effort with AEW. And they got to try to do something different. So if WWE is doing a monthly pay-per-view, why not try going back to the old method of 4 pay-per-views a year, especially when you're starting up. So the pay-per-view thing I don't see as big of a deal, but not appealing to a casual audience. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work for them, but maybe it will. Maybe those diehard fans will spend so much money, and that money will just keep flowing in, and AEW will be able to become profitable. Natural Born Thriller with a $5 super chat. So congratulations to Natural Born Thriller. He's the new NoDQ super chat champion of the world. He says, 3-time NoDQ super chat champion. He says, he is the champion, my friend, and he will keep fighting till the end. He is the champion, no time for losers, because Natural Born Thriller is the champion of the world. Congratulations to Natural Born Thriller. Now, what did Caitlin say was her favorite moment of the Backstreet Boys concert? I'm trying to see a comment here from her, and I do not see anything. Maybe I missed it. I'm not seeing anything. Caitlin, what was your favorite song of the evening? Let me know. And let's see what we got here. Hank Schrader on the shitter with a $2 super chat says, you should be saying who the F is the BSB? Hashtag man card. Pretty much, Hank Schrader on the shitter. Or as Walter White would say, you're goddamn right. And George, I'm not sure, is it George or Jorge or Jorge? I'm never sure how to pronounce Jorge, the Spanish pronunciation of it at least. But George, with a $5 super chat, says, B-, even though I only saw the second half of the show because of work, but if I had seen it, it would still be a B-. Well, there you go. Thank you for that, George. Congratulations. Last night you were the final champion. Maybe, just maybe, you'll be the final champion of tonight, because I do need to wrap this bad boy up here in a few minutes. Caitlin says she has to think about it. So Caitlin's going to leave us hanging, ladies and gentlemen. She cannot commit to her favorite Backstreet Boys song of the evening. So maybe tomorrow night. Maybe tomorrow night I can interrogate her and get her answer to give to all of you, because I'm sure you're all dying to know the favorite Backstreet Boys song of the evening. In Spanish, George is pronounced Jorge, not George. Thank you for that. I thought that was the case, but I was never sure with the pronunciation of it. All right, so guys, on that note, I will go ahead and wrap this up and see if George or Jorge can be the final champion of the evening. Thank you guys so much for watching. NoDQ.com/shirts to get a hat. I got to fix that URL. You can also get the NoDQ.com shirts. Lots of good stuff on there. See you guys tomorrow night.